This week on Aliens Explored, in a change to our advertised programme, we will be looking at a much more immediate story of an alien encounter in Las Vegas. Upon hearing something coming crashing out of the sky, one family was disturbed by 8-foot-tall creatures skulking in their backyard. The YouTube video, produced by one of the family members, has been met with widely varying responses. This episode of Aliens Explored is dedicated to our Explorer of the Week, DEE NANDWANI. Check out our Patreon on patreon.com/Aliens Explore.
Aliens Explored is a weekly podcast exploring famous and obscure cases of UFO sightings, alien abductions and other strange events from both a believing and a sceptical perspective, whilst keeping an open mind. I'm Stu Jackson, a professional actor and amateur ufologist with a particular interest in the crop circle phenomenon. I'll be debating that otherworldly visitations are real. The truth is out there.
And I'm Neil Kelly. I'm a professional actor as well and used to work for the military as an intelligence analyst. I'll be arguing from a more doubtful point of view. I mean, it's all a bit far-fetched, isn't it? Welcome back, listeners, to Aliens Explored, your weekly podcast where we look at mysterious skies, strange UFOs, historical events, the people behind it all, and much, much more, all connected with ufology, of course. I am one of your hosts, Stu Jackson.
And I'm your other host, Neil Kelly.
Hello, Neil. Now, before we get into hellos, and I know we've got something very important
to
talk about.
Before we get down to the business of hello, let's...
let's just... So the eagle-eyed listeners will have noticed that actually the title of today's episode is different to the one we said we were going to do last week.
Yes.
So last week's episode was the Heaven's Gate one.
Yeah.
We did record the Da Vinci one, didn't we? And had that all lined up.
Yeah,
however, we're trying to be as reactive as we possibly can. There was an event that happened 1st of May this year, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want us to talk about. So it's a change to our scheduled programming, listeners.
But really just so that we can be more relevant and reactive and...
Absolutely.
Up to the minute with all your UFO-related news.
Absolutely. So we will be talking about the Mona Lisa and Da Vinci next week now, instead of this week. It's all convoluted. I mean, we've already recorded that episode. So now, something we talk about next week, but it's going to be very relevant to talk about this week because of the changing dates. Neil, how are rehearsals going?
They're going pretty well. I'm kind of on a bit of a break from them because they're rehearsing a lot of stuff that I'm not involved in. Right. And also it's hard to get time off work. Although my time at Monopoly Life Science is coming to an end and I am actually getting DMOB happy. I've started making lists of things that I'm going to do once I have a bit of work-life balance back, And it is stuff because it's a long time since I've had a job where you have to take 2 meals with you. I mean, all right, yeah, you might occasionally be on a film shoot where we have 3 meals a day there, but that's only 1 or 2 days. Yes. This has been a year, and every day. And because it's, I don't really get much of a morning, I have to leave home at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't sound like the crack of dawn, but yeah, it means you haven't really got a morning you can do anything with. And I don't get home till about 9 o'clock at night. It means that if I want to do anything, like have a dentist appointment in the morning or go to a show in the afternoon or just go to the pub in the evening, you got to take the whole day off. There's no way around it. There's no splitting it. There's no anything like that. So It means there's all sorts of stuff I haven't been able to do, like go for a curry, go for a fry-up breakfast in the local cafe, go to the pictures, that sort of thing. Grow my beard back, because I have to wear the fake Mr. Monopoly moustache. My own moustache is not approved by Hasbro, so I have to wear their stick-on one to be a convincing Mr. Monopoly.
You've got to look like all the other Mr. Monopolies, that's the thing.
Well, they don't even achieve that. So,
okay.
Yeah, we are quite obviously different Mr. Monopolies. And occasionally we run into each other, or we run into audience members who have seen a different Monopoly. So it's like seeing two Father Christmases, it's quite obvious.
There's only one Father Christmas.
Yeah, no, there's only one Mr. Monopoly, supposedly. But there you have it.
So next week, I know you're going to be talking about what you're rehearsing for the first time, but for the second time, it all gets convoluted.
For the second time,
why don't you tell the listeners what it is you're rehearsing for?
I'm rehearsing
the first time for the listeners. I'm
rehearsing a show, a musical called A Soldier's Woman, which is only going to be performed 4 times over 2 days on the 8th and 9th of July, that weekend, at the Cockpit Theatre in London, in Gateforth Street near Edgware.
That's
Road.
In England.
That's in London, England, yeah. So if you want to see me sing, then or act, then come along to that. I haven't done anything apart from Mr. Monopoly for the last year, so it's nice to be doing something different. And also the Mr. Monopoly role seems to be winding down. They're changing the structure of the games. They haven't come up with a role for Mr. Monopoly. Whatever they come up with is obviously going to be an afterthought, because they've already decided what they're going to do with the rest of it. Yes. It would just be up above, somewhere in a boardroom in Rhode Island. Hasbro executives are going to be saying, well, we have to have Mr. Monopoly, you've got to fit him in somewhere. And so anyway, I'm taking a break.
Yes,
and to doing the show
a Soldier's Woman.
A Soldier's Woman.
A Soldier's Woman. And I'll be putting a link in the description below. So if any of our... Well, I was going to say, if any of our UK listeners wanted to come and see it, but of course, if any of our listeners at all wanted to, hop on a red eye from New York to London... I don't know why I'm doing an accent. You should really stay clear of those. Then have a look at the link below and get yourself tickets. Make sure you get them as early as possible, because I'm sure it's going to be a sellout. Are tickets going well?
I don't know. I've no idea.
Okay, it's one of those things that we don't always know, do we? As performers,
we really don't.
But yes, getting to hear Neil say, I'm going to be going to see it. I don't know which performance yet, but I'm definitely going to go and see it. Do you want to know which performance I'm going to be in? Or are you not?
Surprise me.
Surprise you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know some actors really don't want to know when somebody they know is in the audience, do they? Some are just not. But I mean, I'm happy to know, but I know some people it freaks them out.
It depends on the venue. I mean, when you came and saw me at the Coliseum, I was on stage and couldn't see the audience. It was just black. It was only when we came on for the curtain call and the lights went up, we could see, there's a whole wall of people there, 2,000 people looking at us that we just couldn't see. Whereas I remember one time acting in Wimbledon Studio Theatre, and we had to come on in pitch black, which is quite difficult, and take our seats, which were quite close to the audience. The audience were in front and to one side. And as soon as the lights came up, I was looking straight at my brother from a distance of about 6 feet. So that was a bit distracting.
Okay.
You have to deal with that's the life of an actor, isn't it?
I'll try not to get a front row seat.
Please do, because I'll be. When I first come on, I'm quite a long way upstage anyway. So.
Excellent. Now I've been trying to think of a segue. From one show to shows in Las Vegas or something, but I can't come up with a decent segue today, so let's just
plunge straight in.
Let's go straight in. So this is kind of, at the time of recording this is a little bit breaking news. I mean, it's been out for it happened about 6 weeks ago, almost 6 weeks ago now. But it's only been out in the public domain for about a week that we've known about this. This is a really curious case that happened 1st of May 2023, this year, around midnight in Las Vegas. So, to lay out kind of what we know, this light falls from the sky. There's an almighty bang. People feel the impact. They can sort of feel the ground sort of shudder when it impacts. So it obviously hits with some force. These two brothers allege that it has, whatever this is, has crashed in their back garden. They put a call into the police.
Actually,
the police.
Did they say it had crashed in their back garden?
Yeah, crashed or landed. It had basically gone into their back garden.
Okay, I thought it was just
Or
somewhere
close
nearby.
to.
I thought it was
Or close
somewhere
to. It
close
might be
by.
close
He said
to.
he felt the impact of this thing landing.
Yes. Yeah, it might be close to their back garden. I know they've said it was behind the forklift truck and things like that. So I think we're talking. I mean, this is America, so space here in London is at an absolute premium, isn't it?
Yes.
You pay £1 million for a square foot of land. It's not quite that bad.
Yeah,
It's bad
we don't have hotel balconies we can stand and watch nuclear weapons being tested like they did in Las Vegas.
No, but yeah. So I mean, their yard might be quite a big old thing. But yeah, they put a call into the police. It's not just the two brothers. They then get sort of parents around as well. And they report seeing beings 8, 9 or 10 foot tall. They seemed a bit unsure about that. Grey-greenish in colour, skinny with large eyes and large mouths. There's a circular imprint in their backyard or in this area. These creatures, before the police arrived, so they've gone by the time the police actually arrived, but while they're basically waiting for the police, they go back in the house. They can hear these creatures sort of laboured breathing. Hear them walking about on the roof of the house, and absolutely terrifying to them. I think that covers everything that they reported. Can you think of anything else there?
Well, the police turned up because they'd heard about this thing falling from the sky, so they were kind of in the area asking around if anyone had seen anything drop out of the sky. The guy did make a call through to 911, if the video is to be believed. There's just a picture of his phone making this call. I think he would have got a much better response from 911 if he'd have just said, there are some intruders in my backyard, instead of trying to tell the dispatcher, oh, these are aliens from wherever, they're 10 foot tall, these strange beings. You can hear the skepticism of the 911 dispatcher, but the police turn up because they're looking for the source of this loud bang anyway. And they seem quite credulous. They go and look in the back garden. That's where they encounter that perfect circle made in it looks like gravel or sand. Someone's drawn a perfect circle. But I mean, there are plenty of comments about this video that he made.
Just before you go on to those, just to corroborate something, because you sounded a little bit, I won't say sceptical, but kind of
Really? Did I?
Open. No, I'm not going to say sceptical, but kind of open-minded to the possibility that call to the dispatcher might not have been genuine. The police themselves have released the audio calls and their body cam footage of the police captured this light falling, so that's there, but also the actual call that was placed as well, That's been released by the police, so it is corroborated. It is genuine. That's absolutely
That the police did turn up.
Not just that they turned up, but on that video that you're talking about. So this is, what's the name of his channel? One of the brothers has basically created a YouTube channel and posted a video about this. This is Alien Society 51. If anybody wants to go and look up that.
They've just got that one video, so it's Alien Space Society 51.
Yes. I mean, he describes it as I had aliens in my backyard, part 1.
Yeah.
There isn't a part 2. I suppose he's kind of
he
future-proofing.
He did, at the end of his video, promise there would be a part 2.
Yeah, we haven't had that as yet. This is a recording as of the 12th of June. There hasn't been a part 2, but worth looking up and worth looking at his video.
Worth looking at the comments as well. Many comments are supportive of him.
Mm-hmm.
Someone called Hecatomb, Hecatomb, says, I still don't get how, if something crashed in his yard, wouldn't you take a picture of the craft in your backyard? If the aliens got out and ran away, wouldn't the craft still be there? Okay, so he did say, he didn't say the thing crashed in his yard. He said he felt it crash nearby. However, someone else mentions that, well, if something crashed nearby, how come they couldn't find the crash site or a crater? Somebody else, a guy called Anthony Rainier, says, okay, here's my only issue with this entire story. There's an hour of time when you're inside the house before the police show up. Clearly you have camera phones, but the only video you captured is in the front yard and shows nothing. Why weren't you looking out the window to capture a photo or video evidence?
I'm going to address that one. Our regular listeners will remember that I had my own suspected encounter in my flat.
Yeah.
And the absolute terror that I felt compelled me to stay hidden away, to not approach. I mean, I could have taken my video, my phone. Words. I could have taken my phone out, switched it onto video, opened the door from my living room to where this encounter had happened. I could have taken video for it, but I was too scared. I was too gripped with fear to kind of do anything, I suppose, provocative.
Apart from,
I kind of didn't want it to be happening. That was the overriding emotion. So I get why they didn't. I get why it just didn't strike them to do it.
But they were searching. At one point, he goes into his garage to get some tools or something for some reason, and he's got his camera out. He's videoing, but it doesn't pick up at no point. Even though they are videoing lots of this, and the police arriving, that you don't see any of these beings that he talks about.
Well, the police, by the time the police arrived, it was all gone and done and over with. And the footage that you get when the police arrive, that's the body cam footage. Because that is public now, that's easily accessed.
I have to say, I mean, this guy isn't ever named at any point. This story was covered in the British press, but only suspiciously in the Daily Express and the Daily Mail, as far as I could tell.
Very right-wing.
Very right-wing, very unreliable. A few years ago, Wikipedia ordered all information whose source of origin was the Daily Mail to be removed because they're just too unreliable, prone. They don't engage in any fact-checking and actually print stuff that blatantly isn't true when it suits their agenda. So, and And they don't mention this chap by name. Now,
I can understand why. I can really understand why.
Well, I mean, this guy's created a YouTube channel. Aren't we entitled to? And we can see him plainly. Anyone who knows him will recognise him, aren't we? Most of the messages, the comments under this video are positive.
Well, you just said a word there, and I'm going to pick up on this. He said, "Aren't we entitled?" The answer is no. We're not entitled.
Poor choice of words there. Are we entitled? We're not entitled, but he's not trying to hide his identity. It almost just seems like an omission that he just forgot to say, "I'm so and so." And yeah, we know what he looks like. We know he lives in Las Vegas. We know he lives with his parents or his dad. I think his grandmother was there, wasn't she?
I think so. Yeah,
and his brother.
Well, like you say, anybody would recognise him who knows him, but then they probably already know the story. So I get, obviously, through our YouTube channel, I get a lot of positive comments. Through our Twitter, we get a lot of positive comments. We also get our fair share of abuse as well through those mediums. Now,
abuse.
We don't share that publicly. Yeah, I mean, I've certainly when I go into the crop circle, Facebook is a weird place because you have this massive division between people who it seems to be people who either think, oh, it's all like aliens who are like the second coming of Christ, and it's all it's all something biblical that's happening, through to or every single one of them is man-made and you're a lunatic if you think otherwise.
But given that this podcast is a discussion, and we would discuss various facets, various aspects of something from differing points of view. I mean, what are they taking issue with? Are they taking issue with one of us telling us one of us is an idiot, or we're both idiots for discussing it, or whatever? We're just trying to get to.
Do you know what we get? We get all of that.
Okay, yeah, I suppose that's the world of social media.
It makes people very, very angry to even entertain the idea, to present an open mind. Makes some people out there very, very angry. Now, I would suggest, like, switching my psychology degree on for a moment, I would suggest that actually what it does is it makes them scared. The unknown is a real driver of fear for a lot of people, and if it's unconsciously triggering for them, they're going to react, they're going to lash out, and so that's my... Obviously, I'm making assumptions there, but that's kind of the best I can go with. So I totally 100% get why this guy's not going to put his name to this.
Okay.
Because I couldn't track him. If I tried, I wouldn't be able to track him down on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. Or I could send like abusive messages on his YouTube. I could put abusive comments. Not that I would. I'm not suggesting that for a single moment. But, somebody who is that way inclined. But it's easy to deal with these things if they haven't got you by name. It's always interesting, the personal attacks. People. So these attacks, the nastiest ones are always like really personal. The more personal they can make it, the better, it seems. So, yeah, I get why he wouldn't want to put his name to it.
I appreciate this guy isn't by any means a professional presenter. However, I do have some tips for him. First of all, his video is very hard to watch because he's constantly leaning forward. Yeah, every few words he'll lean forward to adjust something next to the script.
He'd written a script and he was scrolling through the text. He was recording it on his phone. Now, bear in mind, this is a guy without as kind of as professional actors, we've got tripods, we've got things that we've got professional setups, because we'll do like self-tape recording. No, this was a guy who basically had his phone leant up against something,
but he's doing it every few words. He's not bringing up a paragraph and reading that and then he's obviously not editing it at all. He's
No.
It just made it very distracting, because it's every few words. He's just constantly leaning forward to fiddle with something at the side of the screen. Also, he keeps saying, you have to believe me, this isn't a hoax, this isn't a scam, I swear I'm telling the truth. And every time he says that, his credibility goes down a notch.
For you.
For me. And I think for anyone, when someone rings, if you've ever had a scamster on the phone telling you, there's been some unauthorised activity on your Amazon account and you need to do something, otherwise hundreds of pounds is going to flow out somewhere, and they're constantly saying to you, I promise you, this isn't a hoax, this isn't a scam, you've got to do this, you've got to press this combination of keys on your computer. No, that's what scamsters will tell you. The FBI apparently have a department that looks for online internet scams. And one of the main ways in which they search for these scams is they type in a text string which is, this is not a scam. That's how you can tell something's a scam, because it will have those words attached to it. So the more you're saying, you must believe me, this isn't a hoax, this isn't a conspiracy theory, it drives your credibility down.
I get what you're saying. I disagree when you say that anybody would see it, because I don't see it in that way at all. I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head when you say this guy is clearly not a professional. And no, he's absolutely not.
No.
That's fine. He doesn't have to be. He's a guy with a phone who decided to share his story with the world. Now, I'm going to throw one thing out here that to me is absolutely, it makes it kind of crystal clear that this is not a scam. His YouTube channel with this one video has 11,600 subscribers. The video itself, see how many. Can I see how many views it's had? Oh, it's had 591,000 views.
Yeah.
That is way in excess of what is required for the YouTube channel to go into monetization. Basically, you need 1,000 subscribers and you need so many hours watched, which it's going to be way more than that he's achieved. But he hasn't monetized it. He could very, very easily, and just by basically when you get the adverts on YouTube.
I just think he needs some sort of presentation training if he's gonna make a thing of this, because I found him quite hard to watch.
I understand what you're saying, but to me this actually adds to his legitimacy. And when you're saying, he keeps saying, look, I'm not making this up, you have to believe me. He's saying that because I think had he not had this experience and he had heard this story from someone else, he would think that they were talking batshit crazy nonsense.
But you don't.
And that's why in his head is like, look, I'm just telling you what I saw. Like, I wouldn't believe it, but this is what I saw. I think he's absolutely genuine in what he's saying.
I mean, I know these kinds of things are verbal tics that people will, even of our generation, will say things like, well, to be honest with you, well, like you weren't being honest before. Young people will say something and then say, and I'm not even lying. Like you normally do about everything else. So these are verbal tics, but they.
You ever hear of the salesman's boa?
No.
BOA, boa, like a boa constrictor. Basically, boa. Obviously, and actually.
Yeah.
There's something, if you're doing a talk or a presentation or you're trying to sell something, and I do it. you start a sentence with, well, basically it's this, or well, obviously it's that. Well, actually it's called the salesman's boa, and it's something to avoid. It's actually a way of just like giving yourself that little bit of extra time to think, filling dead air. And
a lot of what people say when they're saying things like I'm like this, I'm like that, what's that George Formby song? Why don't women like them like men like me? He's using the word like in the right way, but to just put it in, it's a verbal tick. It's almost like you've got to keep your voice going. As soon as you stop talking, someone else is just going to interrupt.
Do you get me is another one.
You get me, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was walking down the road, do you get me? And this thing happened, do you get me?
Yeah. Know what I'm saying? Like, you know where I'm coming from? Like, I mean, even people like, you watch someone like Prince William being interviewed. I mean, maybe he's improved over the years, but I've seen him being interviewed, and he's just saying, sort of like, you know what I mean, like, and stuff. And I think, really? Is that how you've had this massively expensive education, and that's how you talk now?
Right. So I'm going to pull you up now on this, because you just said Prince William, who has all the elocution lessons and speaking skills training courses in the world, no expense
well,
spare
a better education
level.
than we could ever dream of affording.
Oh, absolutely. And you're pulling up this poor guy in Las Vegas for his presentation skills.
What I'm pulling him up on is actually things that make his video difficult to watch. The constant fidgeting, the constant leaning forward
I understand exactly what you're saying, but bear in mind, this might not be his first language, English.
It's not his first language. You can tell. And I know his first language is Spanish.
So I'm not
pulling him up on that. Sorry?
Reading it from a script is going to be absolutely essential to him.
But he doesn't look like he's reading from it. He looks like he's just saying it. But he looks like he's speaking off the cuff.
Oh, to me, it's absolutely obvious. That's exactly what he's doing.
Because
he's got it all written out on his phone, and he's reading it.
So he actually wrote down, "You've got to believe me. This is true. This isn't a hoax. This is,
It's probably more bullet. I mean, obviously, I don't know what he wrote.
No, but I can understand someone
it's more bullet
constantly
points.
saying that if they're just speaking freeform and they're filling space. But to actually write that down and then deliberately say that. Okay, we're talking about the quality of his presentation. All I'm saying is, constantly saying, "You've got to believe me. This isn't a hoax," makes you. Well, all you hear is the word hoax. Conspiracy theory,
absolutely.
It just makes you think of that. Really, what's this? And also, another tip: if you're going to show video footage of something. I mean, most of the time we're looking at what's going on here. We can't see anything.
I think he's just showing you what he's got.
Yeah, but don't. There's nothing there. That a few people commented on that. Yeah, he's showing video footage and there's nothing there. How did he? Also, I want to know. How did obviously he thought to video his telephone while he was making the 911 call. We can see the video of the phone and hear the dispatcher.
Not necessarily.
And where did he get the? I mean, some of it is police body cam footage. Where did he get that from? The police don't hand that sort of stuff over.
Yes, they have done. They've made it public. And the same with the call from the dispatcher.
Do they?
So the image, he shows an image of the phone, but that could be a mock-up, and it could just be, yes, this is publicly available.
Thought you had to get a court order to get police body cam footage.
The police have released it very freely. They have openly released it.
Really? Where does it say that?
Oh, crikey. You want me to give you the YouTube link?
No, okay. It's a question that's got to come up.
It is out there. It's definitely out there. Definitely.
Okay. In that case, are they only releasing it because they say, well, we might as well give it to him. There's nothing on it. There's nothing to see. Let him have it. Make of it what he can. But that is, you've got video footage which doesn't show anything. And certainly no footage of these. They're clearly looking for these aliens. They're hunting them. They're in the backyard. Oh, let's go in and see. Oh, look, there's a perfect circle in the gravel, but no sign of these aliens. Oh, he's in the garage, but somehow just never get any footage.
Well, I mean, I can sympathise with that because, yeah, you're talking about like the body cam footage and the call is because they have been released. That's not him recording those. That has just been publicly released. There's a small bit of footage that he's got, but you know, there's a kind of a moment of terror in that. So, you know, the camera not pointing the right way, I understand. But also, like I say, comparing it to kind of what I thought at the time was an encounter. The absolute terror that comes with that, you just don't.
Okay.
It just doesn't occur to you to record. You know, people have said to me about that. You know, why didn't you just record? Why didn't you, set up an audio recording?
Well,
why didn't you do it?
Here's someone for me. Someone called.
I was too scared.
Someone called Tasty Cake, who comments, he's reading the story provided by ChatGPT because who needs to read their own experience? If it happened, then you would remember and speak from the top of your head. Kid is a straight up fraud and he and his entire family should be ashamed of themselves for blowing this up without proof.
I'm going to say, that's from Talk Cake, you
Tasty
say?
Cake.
Tasty Cake. I'm going to say Tasty Cake. That's a load of bollocks because, as I said earlier, this guy, it's not his first language. If I was going to present something publicly in a language different to my own, I would definitely want it written down. And I would be reading it from that script.
Other comments, someone called Tom Simon 14. Tom Simon 14. Yes, he took no pictures. There's the first major alarm bell, straight up hoaxer. Someone else who I can't read because it looks like their name is in Japanese. He was so calm at 911, then justifies that he was too scared to take a photo. This is in Nevada, so I wouldn't trust them at all.
I would say
other people
don't
more
confuse
hostile.
Bravado with calmness. I would say, yeah, there are two different things there.
Yeah.
It didn't actually sound that calm to me on the call. It sounded agitated. I thought.
I didn't. I thought he was being very calm. I thought, why? No, my thought was, why are you telling them it's aliens in your garden? Why don't you just tell them an intruder, and then you're more likely to get a response, aren't you?
Because if this thing, so kind of empathise and put yourself in that position. If it's there and it's happening, you're just going to tell them what is there in front of you. You're not going to think, oh, hang on, if I tell them this thing, I need to tell them something completely different. You're not going to think like that. You're just going to tell them what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's just the fact that he's talking about the experience. He's showing video which shows nothing.
Yes.
So why is he?
But
and saying, look here, look you. Oh yeah, we didn't catch him. No, okay, no. It doesn't help.
I agree. It would be hugely helpful if there was some absolutely unequivocal footage, but there isn't. We work with what we've got. I get the impression then that you don't believe this guy. Is that a fair?
Yeah, I don't believe him.
Okay, I absolutely do.
Okay, I mean it's interesting. I mean the two newspapers, although they're really crappy newspapers, they are really gutter journalism. They just report the story pretty much as he tells it. They don't offer any kind of analysis or whatever.
It's an easy space filler for them.
Yeah,
to be fair.
That's
a story like this. Fox News did a similar thing. Again, very right wing. Media outlet, and it's good distractions as well. Let's face it, our UK right wing press and are going to be looking for any distraction against the fact that Boris Johnson has just resigned before he's pushed out, and other notorious MPs as well are jumping ship before things come out about them. So yeah. The right-wing press will want distractions at the moment.
Yeah.
So this makes for a nice one for them. Anyway, so yes, we're on very much. It's rare that we're this diametrically opposed. I'm all the things you've said, all the reasons you've given for why you don't play. I to me that actually adds credibility, because he's not professional. He's not. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think, though, listeners? We really would love to hear your thoughts and feelings on this. And in fact, well, we've already heard a few people on Twitter kind of drew my attention to this one as it was breaking. So thank you so much for that. Everyone who messaged us with it. And yeah, let us know what you think. Do you know what? I'm going to put a link to his video on
definitely
YouTube
do that
in the description below. So have a look. See if if you agree with Neil. Does he come across as a bit of a shyster in the way that he's presenting, or just natural, just someone just relaying the story as they saw it, as I believe, or do you have a different view? Again, from either of us, do let us know exactly what you think. You can, and I mean that, even with the abusive ones that we get, do let us know exactly what you think. You can let us know via the usual means. You can email us, aliensexplored@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching Aliens Explored. And, of course, we are on YouTube as well with our YouTube channel. And I mentioned earlier about, if you get to 1,000 subscribers, you can start monetizing. That is actually a goal of ours at the moment. So if you go over to our YouTube channel and give us a like and subscribe, we'd very much appreciate that. Thank you.
It won't cost you a penny.
No, it absolutely won't. You just might have to put up with adverts, small adverts on our on our videos in future. But yeah, so let us know what you think. Join us next time, though, when we will be... we'll be going back to our scheduled programming with the Mona Lisa. So we've got lots of links in this description. We've got your play, we've got this guy's video, and we've got the usual ways of contacting us as well. So next time will be Da Vinci and the alien potentially hidden inside the Mona Lisa painting. And until then, my goodness, keep watching the skies and backyards and everywhere else, but make sure you take a video footage of anything you see, otherwise you get called a liar by Take care for now.
Cheers then, bye bye.
Aliens Explored is a Fecal Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Darren Mafucci and editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Twitter or Facebook by searching Aliens Explored, or visit us on aliensexplored.com.